Listen to me, 2025 is here. The world is moving faster than it's ever moved before. Technology is evolving. Opportunities are shifting. Competition is fiercer than ever. And yet, most people are still sleeping on themselves. They're moving slow while the world is moving fast. They're distracted while the hungry are focused. They're playing checkers while life is playing chess. But not you. Not after this. This message is for the ones who are ready to wake up. For the ones who are tired of being average. For the ones who know deep down, I've got more inside of me. This is for the ones who are willing to pay the price to win. Because let me tell you something, 2025 doesn't reward average. 2025 rewards the relentless. Let's be real for a moment. Everyone says they want success. Everyone says they want financial freedom. Everyone says they want to live their dream life. But when the alarm clock rings at 500 a.m., who actually gets up? When it's time to stay late and study, who actually puts in the hours? When it's time to grind, who actually grinds? See, the blueprint for relentless success isn't complicated. It's not hidden. It's not a secret. It's simple. Outwork everyone. Outfocus everyone. Outdiscipline everyone. Outlast everyone. Let me break it down for you. We live in a world where the average person spends 3 hours a day on social media. That's over 1,000 hours a year scrolling, liking, watching, but not building. Meanwhile, the top 1%, they're using those same hours to learn, to network, to sharpen their skills. That's the gap. That's why the average person struggles to pay bills while the relentless build empires. You want numbers. Here's some data. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American works about 34 hours per week. Meanwhile, entrepreneurs, leaders, and high performers often put in 60 to 80 hours per week. Not because they're forced to, but because they're obsessed with the grind. That's almost double the work, double the focus, double the sacrifice, and in the long run, double the results. Now, I'm not saying you have to burn yourself out. I'm saying you've got to make a choice. Are you going to be average? Or are you going to be relentless? Because average won't pay the bills in 2025. Average won't build your dream. Average won't set your family free. So what's the blueprint? Step one, wake up earlier. I don't care if you're not a morning person. Success doesn't care about your comfort. Set your alarm clock 1 hour earlier than usual and claim that time for your grind. Do you know what 1 extra hour a day equals in a year? 365 hours. That's over 9 full work weeks. Imagine what you could build with 9 extra weeks every year. That's the edge. Step 2, eliminate distractions. Do you know how much mental energy you waste checking notifications, bouncing between apps, scrolling TikTok, watching Netflix? Studies show that it takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction. That means every time you just check your phone real quick, you're throwing away 20 minutes of productivity. Multiply that by 10 times a day. That's hours gone. Hours you'll never get back. If you're serious about outworking everyone, you've got to protect your focus like your life depends on it. Because in a way it does. Your dream depends on it. Your future depends on it. Step 3. Build unshakable discipline. Motivation is good. Motivation can get you started, but discipline keeps you going. When the motivation runs out, discipline is showing up every single day, no matter how you feel. Discipline is sticking to your plan, even when your emotions scream at you to quit. The Navy SEALs have a saying, we don't rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. What does that mean? It means when life gets hard, and it will, you don't become your dream version of yourself. You default to your habits. So if your habits are weak, you'll collapse. If your habits are strong, you'll thrive. Discipline is the difference. Now, let me ask you this. What are you willing to sacrifice? Because let's be clear, success is expensive. And the only currency is sacrifice. You can't keep every comfort, every distraction, every bad habit, and still expect to outwork everyone. You've got to let something go. Some of you will have to sacrifice sleep. Some of you will have to sacrifice weekends. Some of you will have to sacrifice the opinions of your friends. Some of you will have to sacrifice that lifestyle of comfort for a season. But trust me, temporary sacrifice brings permanent success. Do you know what temporary sacrifice looks like? It's Kobe Bryant in the gym at 4 a.m. when everyone else is sleeping. It's Steve Jobs obsessing over details while competitors laughed. It's Oprah Winfrey spending hours perfecting her craft before anyone knew her name. These people weren't lucky. They were relentless. They outworked everyone. And here's the truth. The blueprint isn't about talent. It's not about being the smartest, the richest, or the most connected. It's about hunger. It's about drive. It's about the willingness to do what others won't. There's a study from Stanford that tracked thousands of students for decades. The ones who succeeded the most weren't the ones with the highest IQ. They were the ones with the highest grit, the ability to stick with something, to persevere, to sacrifice. That's the blueprint. So let me ask you, are you ready to outwork everyone? Are you ready to stop saying, I'll start tomorrow? Are you ready to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm done playing small. I'm ready to grind like my life depends on it, because it does. If you don't build now, you'll regret later. If you don't grind now, you'll struggle later. If you don't sacrifice now, you'll lose your dream later. That's the reality of 2025. And listen, I know it's not easy. I know it's uncomfortable. But guess what? Growth is uncomfortable. Success is uncomfortable. Average is easy, but average is broke. Average is frustrated. Average is stuck. You've got to choose your hard. Discipline is hard. Regret is harder. Grinding is hard. Being broke is harder. Sacrifice is hard. Failure is harder. Choose your hard. This is the wake-up call. This is the line in the sand. This is where you decide, am I going to live 2025 on autopilot, or am I going to take control? Am I going to drift like everybody else, or am I going to rise? Am I going to watch success happen to other people, or am I going to create it for myself? The blueprint is clear. Outwork everyone. Wake up earlier. Protect your focus. Build discipline. Sacrifice now. And keep going until the results come, because they will come. Now that we've woken up, now that we've drawn the line in the sand, let's get practical. Because hype without a plan is just noise. Inspiration without action is just entertainment. And I didn't come here to entertain you. I came here to give you a blueprint. So let's talk about the grind. First thing you need to understand is this: there are no shortcuts. Stop looking for them. Stop scrolling for the hack. Stop hoping for the magic formula. The grind is the shortcut. The grind is the formula. Outworking everyone is the strategy, period. But how do you actually do it in 2025 when distractions are everywhere? When AI is changing jobs, when opportunities are global, when everyone seems to be moving at lightning speed? You need structure. You need discipline. You need a system that guarantees results even when motivation dies. That system, the grind blueprint, has 5 pillars. Pillar 1T, Own your morning. Winners don't start the day reacting. They start the day attacking. The average person wakes up and the first thing they do is grab their phone. Notifications, emails, social media. They start their day on defense, reacting to everyone else's agenda. And by noon, they wonder why they feel drained. Relentless people, they own their morning. They wake up earlier than the competition. They don't check Instagram first thing. They check their goals. They don't scroll TikTok. They scroll their vision board. They don't waste their mental energy on nonsense. They invest it into focus. Research from the University of London shows that people who wake up early are not just more productive, they're also more proactive, more consistent, and less likely to procrastinate. Why? Because mornings are quiet. Mornings are distraction-free. Mornings are when discipline beats talent. So here's the blueprint. Get up before the world gets up. Own your first 2 hours. Use it for planning, reading, training, learning, creating. Protect that time like it's sacred, because it is. Pillar Tunye, multiply your hours. We all get the same 24 hours. The difference isn't time, it's how you use it. The relentless multiply their hours. How? By turning dead time into grind time. When they're commuting, they're not just driving, they're listening to audiobooks. When they're at the gym, they're not just lifting, they're feeding their mind with podcasts. When they're waiting in line, they're not scrolling Instagram. They're reviewing goals, drafting notes, sending messages. A study from Duke University found that the average person wastes about 2.8 hours per day on unproductive activities. Do you know what 2.8 hours a day adds up to? Over 1,000 hours a year. That's 6 months of work weeks lost every single year. Imagine if you reclaimed just half of that. Imagine if you reinvested those hours into your dream. That's how you outwork everyone without adding more time. The grind blueprint isn't about doing more, it's about doing better. It's about eliminating dead time. Pillar 3, train your body. Sharpen your mind. You can't grind if your body is breaking down. You can't lead if you don't have energy. You can't be relentless if you're exhausted all the time. Success is physical before it's financial. Look at the data. The American Heart Association found that people who exercise regularly are 23% more productive at work. Another study showed that physical activity improves focus, reduces stress, and increases creativity. Translation: if you want to outwork everyone, your body has to be a weapon, not a weakness. That's why every relentless person you admire, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, takes care of their body. They train, they eat clean, they rest strategically, not because it's trendy, but because energy is their competitive advantage. And the mind, same thing. The average person watches 20 hours of TV a week. 20 hours. Meanwhile, the relentless read, study, and invest in themselves. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Bill Gates takes rating vacations. These people sharpen their minds like warriors sharpen swords. The grind blueprint means scheduling time to move your body and feed your mind every single day. Because if you don't, average will catch up to you. Pillar 4, master relentless focus. Here's the truth. Distraction is the enemy of destiny. In 2025, you're not just competing with people in your city or your country. You're competing with people across the globe. Someone in India, China, Nigeria, Brazil. They're hungry, they're grinding, and they're laser focused. If you're distracted, you lose. Microsoft conducted a study that revealed the average attention span of humans has dropped to 8 seconds. That's less than a goldfish. Think about that. And yet, the people who are winning are the ones who train themselves to focus for hours at a time. They enter deep work states where they block out everything. Phone, social media, notifications, and get more done in 2 hours than the average person gets done in 2 days. That's the blueprint. Set aside blocks of time for deep work. No distractions, no multitasking, pure focus. Cal Newport calls it deep work. Athletes call it the zone. I call it the difference maker because focus multiplies effort. Pillar 50. Outlast everyone. The final pillar of the grind blueprint is endurance. Anybody can grind for a day. Anybody can grind for a week. But success requires years. Success requires the ability to keep showing up long after the excitement is gone, long after the applause fades, long after the motivation runs out. A Harvard study tracked entrepreneurs for over a decade and found that the number one predictor of long-term success wasn't funding, wasn't connections, wasn't even education. It was persistence. The ones who kept going through setbacks, failures, rejections were the ones who built lasting businesses. That's the blueprint. Outlast everyone. Stay in the game longer than your competition. When they quit, you keep going. When they collapse, you rise. When they tap out, you dig deeper. Now, let me put this together for you. The grind blueprint isn't glamorous. It's not easy. It's not flashy, but it works. Own your morning. Multiply your hours. Train your body and sharpen your mind. Master relentless focus. Outlast everyone. That's the formula. That's how you outwork everyone in 2025. But listen closely. This isn't theory. This isn't something I'm making up. This is proven. You can go look at the biographies of great leaders, great entrepreneurs, great athletes. Every single one of them lived this blueprint. Elon Musk worked 100-hour weeks to build Tesla and SpaceX. He literally slept on the factory floor, outworked everyone. Serena Williams trained 6 hours a day, every day, since she was a child, outworked everyone. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, in the gym before sunrise, on set after that, building businesses while others sleep, outworked everyone. These people didn't just have dreams. They had discipline. They had the grind blueprint. And here's the kicker. You don't need their resources. You don't need their connections. You don't need their background. You only need their work ethic. You only need their focus. You only need their grit. That's available to you right now. The average person is waiting for the perfect moment. The relentless person creates it. The average person waits for motivation. The relentless person builds discipline. The average person complains about not having enough time. The relentless person multiplies the hours they already have. So the question is not, can you outwork everyone? The question is, will you? Will you stop treating success like a lottery ticket and start treating it like a math equation? Will you stop waiting for permission and start executing? Will you stop hiding behind excuses and start owning your grind? Because here's the truth. Outworking everyone isn't about being better. It's about being hungrier. It's about being willing to do the work nobody else is willing to do. And when you live this blueprint, when you own your mornings, when you multiply your hours, when you train your body, sharpen your mind, master your focus, and outlast everyone, success becomes inevitable. It has no choice but to show up. Listen, sacrifice is painful. Discipline is heavy. Consistency is boring. Grinding every single day when nobody claps for you feels lonely. But let me remind you of something. The grind always pays off. Always. When you outwork everyone, you don't just build success. You build yourself. You build a version of you that can't be broken. You build resilience, confidence, and character. That's the real payoff. But let's talk about results, because I know you want to see what's on the other side of the grind. The financial payoff, according to Credit Suisse's 2023 wealth report, over 80% of millionaires worldwide are self-made, not born rich, not lucky, self-made. What does that mean? It means they sacrificed, they built, they endured, they outworked their competition. Do you realize what that number means? 4 out of 5 people who built wealth didn't inherit it. They grinded for it. That's proof. Relentless work beats background every single time. And the data keeps backing it up. The average millionaire saves and invests 20% of their income. The average non-millionaire, less than 5%. That's not a talent gap. That's a discipline gap. That's the payoff of sacrifice repeated over time. The emotional payoff. But let's be clear. The grind isn't just about money. The real reward is peace. When you know you gave your best, when you know you didn't cheat yourself, you walk differently. You don't second guess. You don't live in regret. The American Psychological Association reports that people who consistently work toward meaningful goals experience greater life satisfaction and lower levels of stress. Translation: when you outwork everyone in pursuit of something meaningful, you don't just win externally, you win internally. That's priceless. That's freedom. The legacy payoff, and then there's the biggest payoff of all, legacy. When you outwork everyone, your family eats from your sacrifice. Your children stand on your shoulders. Your name carries weight. Your story inspires people you may never meet. Think about it. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just give speeches. He outworked everyone. He traveled, he marched, he wrote, he organized. The payoff, a legacy that changed the world. Mother Teresa didn't just talk about compassion. She lived it every single day, sacrificing comfort to serve others. The payoff, a name that represents kindness across the globe. When you're relentless, you don't just change your bank account, you change history. Pattern interrupt, the hard truth. But let me break the rhythm right here and hit you with something heavy. If you stop grinding, you lose all of this. Because the truth is, success is rented, and the rent is due every day. You can't grind for one season and expect to coast for life. You can't outwork everyone for a year and then get lazy. You've got to pay the price daily. Will Smith once said, "The only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. I will not be outworked." That's the mindset. That's the blueprint. You don't grind until you get tired. You grind until you're finished. And when you finish one level, you grind for the next. That's relentless. The future payoff, let's talk about 2025 and beyond. The world is changing. AI is replacing jobs. Industries are shifting, and competition is global. But here's the thing: machines can't outwork you in hunger. They can't outwork you in discipline. They can't outwork you in grit. The World Economic Forum predicts that by 2030, 85 million jobs will be displaced by automation, but 97 million new jobs will emerge. Do you know who will get those jobs? The relentless, the ones who refuse to be average, the ones who outwork everyone to stay ahead of the curve. This is why the grind matters. This is why discipline matters. Because in this new world, average won't survive, but the relentless will thrive. The personal payoff. Now let me get personal with you. Imagine 5 years from now, looking back at this moment, you'll either say, "I'm glad I started then," or you'll say, "I wish I started then." Which one will it be? When you outwork everyone, your future self thanks you. You walk into rooms with confidence, not insecurity. You show up to opportunities ready, not scrambling. You live with pride, not regret. The late Jim Rohn said, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. And he was right. The grind hurts now, but regret crushes you forever. Outworking everyone is how you protect yourself from regret. Final call to action. So here we are. End of the blueprint. End of the wake up call. End of the grind system. And now the choice is yours. You can walk away from this and stay the same. Or you can decide right here, right now, that 2025 is the year you stop playing games. The year you stop making excuses. The year you stop waiting for someone to hand you success. This is the year you become relentless. This is the year you wake up earlier. This is the year you multiply your hours. This is the year you build discipline like a weapon. This is the year you sacrifice temporary comfort for permanent greatness. This is the year you outwork everyone. And when you do, the payoff won't just be money. It won't just be success. It'll be peace, freedom, legacy. But it all starts today, not tomorrow, not next week, not someday, today. So wake up, lock in, cut the distractions, build your discipline, pay the price, and don't stop until you're standing on the other side of your dream. Because average won't pay the bills in 2025. Comfort won't build your future. Excuses won't create your legacy. Outwork everyone. That's the blueprint. That's the mindset. That's the only way forward. So get up, grind, push, sacrifice, outlast, outfocus, outwork. And when it's all said and done, when the dust settles, when the world looks around for the relentless ones who refuse to quit, your name will be on that list because you didn't just dream. You didn't just talk. You outworked everyone.